Kitty Cat says, my boyfriend admits that he's defensive because he was bullied as a child. Does that mean he isn't a narcissist? So hold on a second. Let me get a drink here. So again, I would encourage you to put the label aside and look at the behavior. So, what kind of behavior does he have? If he has problematic behavior, is he willing to work towards changing it? Does he have a sincere desire to actually change it? A sincere desire to actually change it means that change is happening. So if he's like, oh, you know what, I'm abusive because I was bullied as a kid, but then he continues to be abusive, then he's not ready, willing, or able to change that. So then the ball's back in your court with, okay, at what is a deal breaker for you? And how long are you going to stay in there waiting for this change to happen? So those are some kind of questions that I would encourage you to look at instead. And again, a lot of people get hung up on the term, and I get it because I was there too. But so I would encourage you to put the terminology aside because it's not cut and dry. It's not like a person's either a narcissist or they're not a narcissist. Like it's on a spectrum of like problematic behavior. As far as I'm concerned, really anywhere on that spectrum is a problem. Like I just steer clear of the spectrum. So, but with that being said, there is, just kind of for the sake of clarity, this doesn't have so much to do with your question, but there is a healthy, what's called quote unquote healthy narcissism. So, and that's different than what we're talking about. So healthy narcissism is the internal drive of, yeah, I can do this. Like, why not now? Why not me? It kind of what gets us out of bed in the morning, and we have goals and plans, and we're driven to accomplish things. That's healthy narcissism. Where it becomes unhealthy is when it becomes this. So healthy narcissism is like, I can do it, right? Unhealthy narcissism is more of like that's taken to an extreme where it's not only like I can do it, it's like I can do it and you can't. So then it becomes like this win-lose type behavior, type spectrum kind of stuff. And that's when it becomes problematic because it's that mentality of there can be only one, like it's only them at the expense or at the sake of everybody else. That kind of stuff is problematic. But again, it goes back to how does this, abuse, addiction, adultery, or attitude, any one of those things in my book is a deal breaker. So do they have any form of abusive behavior? Whether it's verbal, emotional, psychological, sexual, financial, physical, spiritual. How are they with that? Do they treat you with dignity and respect? Addiction, do they have any active addictions? Especially addictions if you're like drugs, alcohol, gambling, porn, those kinds of things. Problem. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Abuse, addiction, adultery. Are they cheating? That's a problem. Attitude. How do they handle things when you bring up an issue? Do they treat you with dignity and respect? Do they listen to you? Do they take your concerns seriously? Or are you treated with disrespect and with a lack of dignity? Are you continually being like invalidated? Are your concerns being minimized? Are they calling you names? Are they gaslighting? Are they projecting? Are they, how are you walking on eggshells? Are you avoiding bringing up certain topics because of how they react? If you bring up a topic, do you get the silent treatment, or do they up and break up with you? Do they start screaming at you? Any of that is, to me, that's problematic stuff. That's deal breaker stuff. So, that's the kind of stuff I would look at. If, and again, people often say, and I get it too, and there is some truth to this, that, well, okay, but nobody's perfect. Right? Or they might tell themselves, well, but who am I to judge? Because they might think, well, I've had some pretty major stuff in my life. So that can be a real slippery slope with thinking along those lines. So yes, so while nobody's perfect, this doesn't mean that abusive behavior or abuse, addiction, adultery, or an attitude of disrespect and invalidation is okay. Okay. Same thing with, well, who am I to judge? You know, the answer to that is it doesn't have to be about judging anybody, but it does have to be about using a level of discernment about what you want in your life. So this goes back to having that healthy defense mechanism, that healthy response of, I don't need to judge people, but I do need to be able to say, this is what's harmful to me or this is what's helpful to me, and to know the difference and then to act accordingly with that. So I hope that helps kind of clear some stuff up, but lots of people get caught up in that. It's a really great question. Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.